If you are enjoying this guided meditation, please hit the like button and subscribe for more meditations like this one. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Perhaps there is truth to that. For what is a man? Or a woman either, without an appetite for good food? We eat because we must, but we cook with love. The most precious gift a cook can offer is the first slice of something fresh from the oven. Smell that wonderful aroma wafting through the house. It stirs up memories, doesn't it? Of grandmothers in cozy kitchens, Sunday roasts with family, or maybe a beloved cafe near a college campus with mismatched chairs and windows left uncleaned. Since 1972? What about freshly baked bread, golden-hued and crusty, just taken from the oven? What feelings does that stir up for you? You may not need any special occasion for this. Fresh bread is reason enough. It's almost magical how something so simple can be so comforting. And so in today's guided imagery, I want to invite you into a little cottage where an old woman lives. She bakes delicious breads and pastries for the local villagers. She'll teach us a lesson about the magic of the kitchen and how to feel satisfied in life. Let's begin. The wind outside is whipping up. Branches scrape against the window panes, and rain lashes against the glass. Sitting on the other side of the window, however, everything is cozy and warm. On the table, tea steams and a plate of freshly baked muffins cools, filled with plump blueberries and glistening with sweet icing. In this haven of warmth and comfort sits a grandmother with twinkling eyes and flour dusting her apron. Rain drums a steady beat on the window. Wind moans like an old blues singer. But inside, all is calm. The fire crackles in the hearth, painting the room in hues of amber and orange. Shadows dance merrily on the walls as the flames leap and fall. Outside, the storm rages, but here in this little kitchen, all is peaceful. Now, if you find yourself drawn to the old woman sitting calmly amidst the brewing tempest, then take a moment to step closer. Imagine walking into this charming cottage, shaking off the rain and the wind, letting the door close behind you, shutting out the clamor of the storm. Imagine settling into a chair by the fire, wrapping your hands around a steaming mug of tea and allowing the warmth to spread through your fingers and up your arms. Now, listen closely to the old woman's words as she speaks. Now, my dear, you might be wondering why I chose to bake on such a blustery day. Well, you see, it's not just the weather that drives me to the kitchen. It's also the opportunity to share a piece of my heart with those out in the storm. You know, sometimes when the winds howl and the rains pour, people get caught up in the chaos. They start chasing the storm, trying to outrun the thunder, or arguing with the lightning. And before they know it, they've lost sight of the beauty in the calm. So I try to remind them that when the world gets stormy, the best thing to do is to pull up a chair beside the fire, sip some hot tea and savor a fresh muffin, sweet and warm from the oven. That's what I'm doing now, sharing this moment of tranquility with you. But you ask, why is it so important to find peace in the midst of the storm? Let me tell you, my dear, there's a profound truth hidden in these simple moments. Life is much like this weather. There will always be storms, unexpected gusts of wind, sudden showers, and even the occasional hurricane. And while we can't always stop the storms from coming, we can choose how we respond to them. Sometimes we run and hide from the rain, seeking shelter. Other times we stand tall and dance in the downpour, laughing in the face of the wind. But no matter what the weather brings, the wise find solace in the warmth of their inner fire, the quiet strength of their spirit. They gather around the hearth of their souls and find comfort in the flickering flames. It's in these moments of calm reflection that we discover the secret to weathering any storm. You might think it's about ignoring the storm or pretending it's not there, but that's not what I mean. It's not at all. It's about acknowledging the storm, feeling its power, and yet choosing to find peace within ourselves. It's like when you're sailing a ship at sea. If even the most seasoned sailors prepare for the stormiest of seas. They don't ignore the storm or pretend it's a sunny day. They batten down the hatches, adjust the sails, and navigate through the rough waters with skill and grace. It's the same in life. When the storms of life come, we don't ignore them. We face them head-on, adjusting our course, tightening our grip, and trusting in our ability to steer through the choppy waters. But ultimately, it's the inner peace we carry within us that allows us to sail smoothly through the storms. It's that calmness that helps us navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. You might wonder, How does one find this inner peace amidst the turmoil? Well, my dear, it starts with embracing the present moment. When the storms rage outside, resist the urge to run and hide. Instead, make tea, bake bread, or simply sit by the fire and reflect on the warmth that surrounds you. It's in these quiet moments that you'll discover a strength that's always been within you. Now, as the old woman finishes her story, you can feel the calming presence of the fire, the aroma of baking bread and tea mingling in the air. The rhythmic crackling of the fire takes over, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into the chair. Enveloped by the warmth and the wisdom shared, the storm outside seems distant now, muffled by the thickness of the cottage walls and the depth of your peaceful state. As the minutes pass, you feel a sense of calm wash over you. You realize that the old woman has taught you more than just a lesson about baking in storms. She's shown you a way to live, a way to find peace and strength in the midst of life's ever-changing weather. You understand now that the true secret to happiness lies not in chasing away the storms, but in finding solace in the quiet moments of joy that life offers. The wind outside begins to die down. The rain, which was drumming a furious tattoo on the windowpane, now slows to a gentle patter. As the storm begins its retreat, the sun timidly peeks out from behind the clouds, casting faint beams of light through the trees. Birds, which had been huddled together for warmth, now take to the sky, their cheerful tweets announcing the return of fine weather. The old woman smiles, her eyes twinkling with mirth. Ah, look, the storm has passed, and a beautiful rainbow graces the sky. Isn't it a sight to behold? Just like how the sun always returns after a storm, your inner light can shine brightly again after facing life's challenges. The rainbow is a reminder that beauty often follows adversity. Life is full of ups and downs, but the sunshine and rainbows are waiting for you after the storm. As the old woman finishes her tale, a comfortable silence falls between you and her. You spend a few moments taking in the beauty of the rainbow, sipping your cooling tea, and savoring the last crumbs of your blueberry muffin. When you finally rise to leave, you feel rejuvenated, your spirit lighter than it has been in days. You step out of the cottage and into the newly cleansed world, the scent of petrichor and blooming flowers filling your lungs. The rainbow arches over your head, a tangible reminder of the promise of sunshine after the storm. You walk away from the cottage feeling grateful for the old woman's wisdom and the warmth of her hospitality, her words echoing in your heart, reminding you that even in the darkest of storms, there is always a glimmer of hope waiting to be found. As you continue on your journey, you carry with you the strength and serenity you found by the old woman's fire. You now know that the true secret to happiness lies in embracing the ever-changing seasons of life with grace and finding solace in the quiet moments of joy that each day offers. The story of the old woman and her magical cottage becomes a beacon in your heart, guiding you through life, storms, and reminding you of the beauty that awaits you. When the sun shines through the clouds once more, the baker wakes before the sun has thought about rising. His sleep was deep, dreamless, and the village wrapped in slumber is silent. Even the night wind seems to hush its whispers till the sun climbs higher. For now, the world is still. The baker slips from bed and pads across the cool flagstones of his house, moving silently. His steps are padded feet to catch no sound. No need to rouse the sleeping world. He moves to the window set high in the wall and looks out. The shutters are closed, hiding the sliver of pale gray that touches the eastern sky. Dawn is coming, but not yet here. It is his for a little while longer. Still the baker does not tarry. He turns from the window and begins to move about his small kitchen, straightening the rough-hewn table, fetching a clay jug of water, filling it from the spigot in the wall. He dips a finger into it and tastes the coolness on his tongue. Good water from the well. Life-giving, thirst-quenching, essential. As he straightens a stool, his wife stirs in their bed. She stretches, yawns, and then comes to sit beside him, her hair tangled from sleep, her eyes shining bright. The baker pours her a cup of water, watching as she drinks deeply. No words pass between them. There is no need. Their silence is a tapestry woven with years of shared moments, unspoken understanding, and quiet companionship. They are two threads in the fabric of the village, intertwined with the others, yet separate. He turns to the rough clay oven built into the corner of the room. Familiar weight settles in his chest, the weight of duty, of routine, of love. He feeds a few small sticks into the breathing holes, coaxing the embers within to glow once more. Soon he will feed larger logs into the belly of the beast, and the fight will truly begin. But for now this is enough. His soft, patient tending, the gentle coaxing of warmth into life. He squats before the oven, feeding it a little more wood. The logs catch slowly, then flare into a steady glow. The flames lick upward, orange and golden, their light flickering gently against the stone walls. He sits back on his heels and watches the dance of fire and shadow, the play of light and dark. Sparks rise, curling upward like fireflies, before vanishing into the darkness of the chimney. All is well. He hears the rumble of the fire, the soft crackle of burning wood. It is a language of comfort, a conversation of warmth. He understands it well. He leans back, closing his eyes. The warmth of the oven creeps up his legs, through his worn clothes, seeping into his bones. Out here the night is chill, the world is dark, but in here, life is beginning to stir. When he opens his eyes again, he can see shapes in the firelight, faces, animals, mythical beasts, all dancing in the flickering shadows. He sees his son, his eyes bright with laughter, his daughter, her hair a halo of firelight, his wife, her face creased with sleep, peaceful. And then he sees the faces of the village, his neighbors, his friends. Their features soft and indistinct, yet somehow familiar. The fire weaves stories in the dark, creating tales from shadows. The baker watches them spin, knowing they are not real, yet comforted by their presence nonetheless. Guess, the flames dance and flicker, the baker remembers. He thinks of the loaves he will make today, the flour dusted on his apron, the feel of dough under his fingertips. He remembers the stories he has heard at the market, the gossip carried on the wind, the laughter of children playing in the square. He remembers the faces of those he has seen today and those he has not seen in weeks. Each face is a story, each story a thread in the fabric of the village. The baker gathers these stories, these memories, these moments into himself. He lets them mingle with the scent of wood smoke and the warmth of the fire, letting the aroma become a part of his being. The fire begins to glow brighter, steadier, and the baker rises to feed it more wood. The logs crackle and pop, sending sparks spiraling upward. The baker watches them climb, tracing patterns in the dark, before disappearing into the night sky. It is not cold now. The hut is filled with the promise of warmth. The baker moves to the table and lays a cloth across it, pours water into a clay bowl, watching as the cool liquid splashes gently. He dips a piece of bread into it, letting the crust soak up the moisture. He takes a bite and tastes the softness, the gentle flavor of grain and water and yeast. It is good. It will sustain. It will nourish. It will give strength. The baker sets the bread down, watching the crumbs drift onto the table. He sees flour, he sees water, he sees yeast, and he sees himself. He is the baker, the weaver of the village, and his work is just beginning. Outside, the world is black, but inside, the first hints of rose gold touch the eastern sky. The baker stands before the oven, his face half lit, half shadowed. He runs a hand across its rough surface, feeling the warmth seep through his fingers. He knows every inch of this oven, its strengths, its weaknesses, its secrets. It is a part of him, just as he is a part of it. The oven breathes in the cold air, drawing in the night, exhaling warmth into the hut. The baker has coaxed it into life, and now it lives its own existence, a being of fire and stone, of heat and light. The baker feels the pull of duty, the weight of responsibility, the comfort of tradition. He is the keeper of the flame, the guardian of warmth, the weaver of the village. He has been doing this work for many years, and still it holds meaning. Still it gives him purpose. As the first light touches the sky, the baker moves to the corner of the room, where sacks of flour wait patiently, holding the promise of bread. He unties the rough hempen cord, letting the sacks fall open, releasing clouds of white. The flour drifts through the air, catching in the firelight, glowing like captured starlight. The baker breathes it in deeply, the smell of grain, the smell of life, the smell of sustenance. With a scoop, he measures out a portion, careful, sure, knowing exactly how much he needs. He tips the sack, letting the flour flow. The baker works with a practiced hand, measuring, mixing, kneading. The flour falls from his hands, sifting through his fingers like golden sand. He adds water, little by little, feeling the dough come together, binding, uniting, holding. The baker kneads, pressing, folding, turning. The dough resists, yields, then pulls away again. He works with patience, knowing the rhythm of the dough, understanding its language. It is alive, pulsing, changing, growing. It is more than flour and water, more than grain and seed. It is life, it is sustenance, it is hope. As the baker kneads, he thinks of the village, the families waiting for their bread, the children who will eat crusts dipped in wine, the old woman who will share a loaf with her cat. He kneads for them, for their needs, for their hungers, for their dreams. The dough rises, swelling beneath his hands, gaining life, taking shape. The baker watches it grow, knowing that soon it will be more than dough. It will be bread. Outside, the shutters creak open, admitting a sliver of pale blue into the darkness. The first hints of dawn touch the sky. The baker continues to work, oblivious to the change in light, lost in the rhythm of his task. When the dough is ready, he lets it rest, covering it with a linen cloth, letting it rise, letting it breathe. He cleans his hands, straightens his apron, and watches the dough swell. It is a slow process, a patient waiting, a gentle coaxing, but the baker is content to wait. He's waited many times before, and he will wait many more. The oven glows warmly, steadily, its breath mingling with the scent of rising dough. The hut is filled with the promise of bread, with the anticipation of life, with the warmth of a new day. The baker feels the steady beat of his heart, the rise and fall of his breath, the pulse of the village, the rhythm of his life. And in this moment, he is at peace. Settle down, little one. Settle deep into the hush of the early hour. Here, the night is not yet done, but the day has not begun. So close your eyes, drift a little further. Imagine you are here in this bakery, nestled between sacks of flour and drowsy dreams. Feel the warmth of the oven on your face, the soft glow painting stripes across the worn wooden floor. Here, time has its own pace. Time moves with the rising of the dough, with the patient wait for the perfect crust, with the gentle coaxing of heat. The old baker kneads the dough, not harshly, not quickly, but with the slow sureness that comes from knowing, from remembering. He's done this countless times before. His hands move like they have a life of their own, a language all their own. See how they dance and twist, how they push and pull, how they seem to remember a tune older than any song. His hands know the music of bread, the ancient song of flour and water, salt and yeast. Outside, the world stirs. There's a cough from a sleepy cat, the creak of an opening shutter, the distant call of a bird testing its wings for flight. But here in the bakery, time slows its hurried steps. It lingers over the rich, earthy scent that fills the room, a perfume spun from flour. Water, yeast, and salt, a scent that speaks of hearth and home, of comfort and care. Inhale it now, let it wrap around you like a blanket, letting go of any worries, any troubles that the day might bring.
Ow.
Watch as the dough, smooth and yielding, takes shape under his hands. Each movement has a purpose, a meaning born from years of practice, of patience, of love. Now he sets it down, not to rest, but to wait, to let it grow, to let it live its own time, to let the slow magic of rising work its spell. Time is not measured in clocks or watches here. It's measured in breaths, in the gradual swell of dough, in the patient wait for the crust to catch the morning light. And listen to the silence, how it speaks its own language. Hear how it echoes in the vastness of the empty bakery, broken only by the soft susurrus of settling flour, the creak of the drying oven, the whisper of wind through the keyhole. In this quiet you may find a different kind of peace, a stillness that lets your thoughts unwind, that lets your worries drift away like crumbs on the wind. He hums now, a tune without words, a melody spun from flour and memory. It's a song without urgency, without demand, a lullaby to the rising dough, a cradle song to the sleeping day. Can't you hear it? That gentle melody weaving its magic in the air, wrapping you in its embrace, holding you in its soothing sway. Now, the first blush of dawn touches the rooftops, painting them with hues of rose and gold. Light spills through the open door, setting tiny motes dancing in the air, illuminating the dust that speaks of countless stories baked within these four walls. The warmth from the oven mingles with the promise of the new day, chasing away the lingering chill of night, creating a haven of cozy solace at the heart of the waking world. The oven is his constant companion, its presence a silent reassurance. Through the glass you can see the loaves slumbering within, their forms swelling, their crusts glowing like polished amber, each one a promise of warmth and nourishment. Time is patient here. It waits with the baker, watching over the loaves as they grow, as they prepare to greet the day. There's a knock now, soft but sure, the sound of a knuckle rapping against wood. A prelude to the symphony of the morning, announcing the arrival of the first customer, the harbinger of the day's awakening. And the baker, with a smile crinkled at the corners, wipes his hands on his apron, smoothing out the wrinkles like he smooths the dough, ready to welcome the day, ready to share his craft, ready to fill the world with the smell of bread and the warmth of hearth. The aroma of baking bread, it wraps around you now, enveloping you in its comforting embrace, whispering tales of crackling ovens and golden crusts, of floury hands and yeasty dreams. Breathe it in now. Let it carry you back to simpler times, to the heart of home, to the warmth of shared meals, to the joy of a freshly baked loaf. As you inhale that fragrance, let your eyelids grow heavy, your muscles melt into relaxation, your worries dissolve into the rising dough. Let the scent weave its magic, calming your busy mind, soothing your tired spirit. Imagine being cradled by its comforting waves, carried to a place of tranquility, suspended between earth and sky. Feel the warmth of the sun painting your face now, a gentle reminder that even in the darkest depths, light persists, offering hope, promising new beginnings, beckoning you toward the beauty of each new day. The sun is a silent witness to the passage of time here, casting its golden light on the rising dough, on the baker's weathered hands, on the rows of loaves waiting patiently in their baskets. It's a timeless tableau, a ritual as old as the earth itself. With each passing moment, the loaves grow fuller, their crusts catching the sunlight streaming through the window, turning a shade darker, richer. The oven breathes life into them, transforming humble ingredients into nourishing sustenance, turning simple flour and water into golden-hued treasures. He takes a loaf from the oven now, its heat radiating a welcoming warmth, its crust a tapestry of colors ranging from the palest cream to the deepest mahogany. The steam that curls from it carries whispers of baking magic, of transformation, of the alchemy that occurs within the heart of the oven. The sight and smell of the fresh bread, it stirs memories, doesn't it? Of childhood breakfasts, of shared meals, of laughter echoing around a table laden with warmth and cheer. Rest now, little one. Let the rhythm of the bakery lull you into a state of peaceful calm. Here in this haven of flour and warmth, time dances to a different tune. It slows its hurried steps. It pauses to savor the fragrance of baking bread, to appreciate the golden glow of the morning sun, to enjoy the quiet companionship of a waking day. In the symphony of the morning, the baker plays his part perfectly. With practiced ease, he kneads the dough, shapes the loaves, tends to the oven, each movement a note in the grand composition of his day. Time itself seems to pause, to listen to the melody he creates, to bask in the warmth of his dedication and skill. You may feel the comforting heat of the oven on your skin now. Imagine the soft glow bathing your entire being in its golden light. It's a warmth that seeps into your bones, dispelling the last vestiges of the night, infusing you with the energy of the dawning day. Close your eyes now. Surrender to the enveloping warmth, letting it chase away the lingering chill of the night. And now, from the depths of the oven, he takes out a loaf, its crust a rich, inviting brown, its aroma a testament to the magic that unfolds within the bakery's heart. The steam rising from it carries the essence of baking bread, a fragrance that speaks of comfort, nourishment, and the promise of a hearty meal. Imagine the taste now, the crusty exterior giving way to a soft, fluffy interior, each bite a celebration of simple pleasures, of the bounty of the earth, of the artistry of the baker's craft. The first bite of warm bread, it's a symphony of flavors and textures, isn't it? The satisfying crack of the crust, the soft yielding of the crumb, the harmonious blend of sweetness and saltiness, all culminating in a taste that speaks of pure, unadulterated satisfaction. He places the loaf on the cooling rack, its warmth radiating outwards, sharing its comforting heat with the air around it. The rack, a silent observer, witnesses the countless transformations that occur here, bearing silent testimony to the passage of time, to the rhythm of the seasons, to the constancy of tradition. The sun climbs higher now, casting a brighter light upon the bakery, upon the baker, upon the loaves awaiting their turn in the oven. The warmth seeps into the very foundations of the building, becoming part of its soul, part of its story, part of the legacy that continues to unfold with each sunrise. The air in the bakery is alive with the music of baking. The rhythmic thump of the kneading, the gentle lapping of the dough against the bowl, the soft thud of loaves being placed in the oven, all blend together in a harmonious composition, a symphony of sights and sounds that resonate with the very essence of the day's beginning. The oven stands as a silent sentinel, a steadfast guardian of tradition, a keeper of warmth and memory. Within its depths, the loaves are reborn, emerging as golden-hued treasures, ready to nourish the body and the soul. The oven is more than just an appliance. It's a storyteller, whispering tales of countless loaves baked within its belly, each one carrying with it the essence of the baker's craft, the promise of comfort, the assurance of sustenance. Beyond the bakery, the world is stirring, awakening to the possibilities of a brand new day. Shops are opening, farmers are tending their fields, children are playing, lovers are whispering sweet nothings. Dreamers are chasing their aspirations. But here in the bakery, time dances to a different tune, a slower, more deliberate pace, a rhythm dictated by the rising of the dough, the patience of the waiting, the wisdom of tradition. And now, a customer enters, bringing with them the greetings of the day, the murmur of the marketplace, the laughter of friends meeting. It's the bakery, with its aroma of fresh bread and its ambience of quiet warmth, welcomes each visitor as an old friend, offering solace, refreshment, and the promise of a moment's respite from the bustling world outside. The baker, with a heart as warm as the oven he tends, greets each customer with a smile, sharing not just bread, but a piece of his soul, a slice of his passion, a crumb of his joy. The day stretches before them filled with potential, ripe with opportunity. The bakery stands as a testament to the enduring power of tradition, the magic of baking, and the simple pleasure of a life well lived. Within the walls of this old bakery, time slows its relentless pace, allowing you, dear listener, to linger a while longer in the warmth of the rising dough. In the golden glow of the morning sun, in the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread, here in the heart of the day's beginning, you can find a sanctuary of peace, a haven of tranquility, a moment of solace before the world calls you back to its embrace. Stay as long as you wish in this haven of warmth and flour. Breathe deeply the scent of baking bread. Feel the sun's caress upon your face. Listen to the gentle rhythm of the bakery. For here, in this timeless space, you are held in the embrace of tradition, cradled by the warmth of the oven, and nurtured by the quiet magic of a day unfolding. The first footsteps appear at last. Soft at first, like the brush of a broom across stone. Then clearer, a gentle tread approaching along the narrow lane. It is a woman. Her shawl drawn close around her shoulders, a basket on her arm. Her breath makes tiny clouds in the cool air, vanishing as quickly as they form. She pauses outside the bakery, tilts her head and inhales deeply. The warm smell of bread greets her, and her shoulders ease. Already she knows this morning will be kind. The baker greets her quietly, with only a nod, for words seem almost too heavy in this hour. He sets one loaf into her basket. Its crust is marked with a curved line, a shape her family has always recognized, the mark of their home. The woman smiles faintly, thanks him with her eyes, and slips back into the gray dawn. Not long after, a boy comes. He is barefoot, his hair wild with sleep, his small hands clasping a worn cloth sack. He stands on tiptoe, watching eagerly as the baker lifts a loaf. This one is round, with a simple cross pressed into the dough. The boy's family will break it apart later, sharing it by the fire, their laughter filling the room. The baker places the loaf in the sack. The boy grins wide, murmurs a thank you, and darts off down the lane, his footsteps light. his voice calling softly to a stray cat that lingers near the doorway. The baker listens to the rhythm of these visits. One by one, the villagers arrive. An old man with a crooked cane, a pair of sisters, their braids swinging as they whisper secrets. A farmer with straw clinging to his boots, the smell of hay following him in. Each receives a loaf. Each finds the mark they know. And each, as they turn away, breathes in the fragrance once more, as though carrying it with them to brighten their homes. Not just with the flames of the oven, but with the glow of morning. Sunlight stretches its fingers through the shutters, painting stripes across the flour-dusted tables. Dust motes float lazily in the golden beams, turning and twirling like tiny dancers in the quiet air. Still, there is calm. Even with footsteps, even with voices, the heart of the bakery beats slowly, gently, like a steady drum, and you may find yourself breathing with it, in and out. Slowly, easily, the baker continues his work. Another loaf emerges, its crust singing faintly as it cools. He listens to that song, soft crackles, tiny whispers, a language only bread knows. It is the sound of completion, the sound of warmth made solid, the sound of nourishment given shape. Outside, a rooster finally crows. Out. Its voice carries across the rooftops, announcing the day with pride. Other roosters answer in the distance, their calls overlapping, rising together, like a chorus greeting the sun. But here in this room, the baker's world remains unhurried. The crowing is far away, a reminder that life continues, but not a command. Not here, not now. He turns back to the dough. There is always more to knead, to mark, to bake. The cycle repeats itself, and yet each loaf feels like a new beginning. Each one is a quiet story. Each one is a gift. Imagine now, the soft hush of the bakery, the warmth against your skin, the scent wrapping around you, gentle and steady. A rhythm that never breaks, comfort that never fades. As the villagers drift in and out, the baker remains calm. His voice is few, his words fewer, but his presence speaks enough. Through him, they know the day will be steady. Through him, they taste safety and rest. And you too may feel that safety, as though each loaf he bakes is also for you.
Yes!
As though you were there, sitting quietly in a wooden chair watching the fire flicker, listening to the soft hum of his voice, breathing the air of bread and morning. The baker glances at the door once more. A few villagers remain. The line thins. Soon the baskets will be full, the shelves bare, and then the village will truly wake. Children will laugh in the streets. Carts will roll across the stones. Dogs will bark and chase. Quiet will lift, and the day will begin in earnest. But for now, you are still here. The hush has not yet left. The calm is still yours to hold. This is the gift of the quiet dawn, to linger in the space between silence and sound, between night and day, between sleep and waking. So breathe again, in and out. Let the warmth of the bakery surround you. Let the gentle rhythm carry you deeper. Let the quiet of dawn be your blanket. You are safe. You are home. You are at rest. In the heart of the ancient city, nestled between the bustling market and the tranquil temple, there existed a hidden oasis known as the Baker's Sanctuary. It was a small bakery where time seemed to slow its relentless pace, offering those who entered a stolen moment of serenity. The sanctuary began its existence as an ordinary bakery, its purpose to provide the city with freshly baked bread and pastries. However, it soon became evident that this humble establishment possessed a unique quality. Within its four walls, a profound sense of calm prevailed, a stark contrast to the chaos that often filled the city's streets. People started to visit not just for the delectable baked goods, but also for the peace they found within the bakery's embrace. One day, a young woman named Amara stumbled upon the Baker's Sanctuary. She was a writer seeking inspiration, but her mind was cluttered with thoughts, making it impossible to focus. As she stepped into the bakery, she noticed how the aroma of fresh bread mingled with the scent of cinnamon and cloves created a comforting atmosphere that soothed her frazzled nerves. The sight of the baker, a kind-faced man with flour-dusted hands, kneading dough with a rhythmic precision, was strangely mesmerizing. The repetitive motion seemed to hypnotize her, drawing her into a state of peaceful observation. As the minutes passed, Amara realized that the noise of the city had faded away. She could no longer hear the merchants hawking their wares or the temple bells chiming in the distance. All that mattered was the gentle rhythm of the bakery, the soft thud of the dough against the counter, the gentle murmur of the baker's voice as he sang softly to himself, and the occasional chime of the small bell above the door. 8. It was as if the bakery had become a sanctuary, a refuge from the clamor and chaos of the outside world. People from all walks of life started seeking solace in the baker's sanctuary, a weary traveler escaping the scorching sun, an anxious student finding respite from the pressure of upcoming exams, an elderly woman yearning for simpler times, and even a heartbroken young man trying to piece his shattered dreams back together. For everyone who entered, the sanctuary offered a brief respite, a chance to pause and breathe amidst the whirlwind of life. The news of the sanctuary spread, attracting the attention of many, including that of a renowned monk named Tenzin. Tenzin, known for his wisdom and tranquility, was intrigued by the stories he'd heard about the peculiar bakery. He decided to pay it a visit, hoping to unravel the mystery of the remarkable peace that emanated from within. Upon entering, he found Amara seated at one of the tables, her eyes closed as she absorbed the serene atmosphere. Sensing her meditative state, Tenzin approached her and introduced himself. Amara, opening her eyes, warmly welcomed the monk, sensing his own aura of calmness. As the day wore on, they engaged in deep conversations, discussing the nature of peace, the human condition, and the power of simplicity. They spoke of how in our fast-paced world, the constant barrage of stimuli often left individuals feeling overwhelmed and disconnected. Tenzin shared ancient philosophies that emphasized the importance of finding stillness amidst the chaos. Amara, inspired by their discussions, began writing furiously, her pen racing across the page as she sought to capture the essence of the baker's sanctuary for her readers. News of the baker's sanctuary reached far and wide, drawing in more curious visitors. Some were skeptical, believing the stories to be mere fabrications. However, once they crossed the threshold, their skepticism melted away, replaced by awe and wonder. The sanctuary had become a beacon of tranquility, a testament to the transformative power of peace. Within the sanctuary's embrace, people discovered a newfound sense of self. They learned to navigate the complexities of life with grace, to confront their problems with clarity, and to find joy in the simplest of moments. The sanctuary became a place of healing, where broken hearts mended, troubled minds found solace, and weary souls rejuvenated. It stood as a reminder that true peace resided not in the absence of turmoil, but in the ability to find stillness within the storm. And so the legend of the baker's sanctuary continued to grow, inspiring countless individuals to seek refuge within its peaceful walls. People came not only to escape the chaos of the world, but also to embark on a journey of self-discovery and inner peace. For in the heart of that humble bakery, magic had unfolded, reminding all who entered that true peace lay not in the absence of troubles, but in the strength to find calm amidst the storm. Welcome back. I'm so glad you could join us for this moment. As we begin, I invite you to find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting, lying down, or standing. If you'd like to sit, take a moment to adjust yourself. Rest your spine against the chair. Allow your hips to sink gently into the seat. If you're lying down, let your body melt into the softness, allowing each part to relax into the surface. If you prefer to stand, grounding yourself, feeling the support of the floor beneath your feet, wherever you are, bring your awareness to the present moment. Let go of any distractions, allowing this space to become your sanctuary for just a while. Slowly, very slowly, begin to close your eyes. If it feels comfortable, allowing the weight of your eyelids to rest upon your eyes. As your eyes drift closed, take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air. And as you breathe out, let go of any tension, releasing it from your shoulders, from your forehead, from the set of your jaw. With each breath you exhale, imagine letting go of the day's concerns, releasing them from your mind and from your muscles. Visualize these worries floating away, becoming lighter and lighter until they vanish completely. Here in this haven, you are free to relax. Here we begin our journey, not with words, but with a scene, a tableau unfolding before your inner eye. Picture a quaint and sturdy bakery nestled in the heart of a charming village. The early morning sun bathes the cobblestone streets in a warm glow, casting long shadows from the half-timbered houses. Birds chirp merrily from their perches, their songs mingling with the distant call of a rooster. The air is fresh and crisp, carrying the scent of dew-kissed grass and freshly blooming flowers. The bakery's windows, adorned with scenes of pastoral life, reflect the idyllic surroundings. Imagine stepping through the doorway and entering the warm embrace of the bakery. Inside, the aroma of freshly baked bread mingles with the sweet fragrance of pastries and the rich smell of brewing coffee. Light streams through the glass display cases, illuminating rows of golden loaves, flaky croissants, and dainty cakes. Behind the counter, a skilled baker, his face lined with the wisdom of years, kneads dough with practiced hands, his movements as rhythmic and comforting as the ticking of a grandfather clock. Baskets filled with loaves are stacked neatly, each one a testament to the baker's dedication to his craft. The walls are adorned with copper pots and vintage baking trays, whispering tales of generations past. The bakery is more than just a place to buy bread. It's a sanctuary of warmth and tradition, a place where the rhythm of the village seems to slow down to savor the simple pleasures in life. In this tranquil space, time seems to stop. Allow yourself to become fully present in this bakery, noticing the interplay of light and shadow, the textures of wood and cloth, the symphony of colors that surround you. Feel the warmth of the oven radiating a sense of comfort and security. Listen to the gentle murmur of conversation, the soft clink of ceramic mugs, and the baker's calm voice as he serves his customers. Take your time to explore this haven, to appreciate the beauty in every detail. Notice the hand-stitched curtains at the window, the floral wallpaper, the antique clock on the wall, the worn wooden countertop. Let the tranquility of the bakery envelop you, soothing your mind and calming your soul. Breathe in the essence of this place, the intoxicating aroma of bread baking, the delicate sweetness of pastries, the robust richness of coffee brewing. Close your eyes and let the flavors dance on your tongue, awakening your senses and igniting a wave of comfort and nostalgia. Allow yourself to be fully immersed in this sensory delight. Now, as you remain in the comforting setting of the bakery, I invite you to turn your attention inward. Bring your focus to your chest, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Notice the soft beat of your heart, a steady drum against your ribs. As you continue to breathe deeply, let your thoughts drift towards gratitude. Begin to appreciate the simple blessings that enrich your life. Reflect on the roof over your head, the warmth that surrounds you, the food you enjoy, and the loved ones who make your life meaningful. Embrace the contentment that washes over you, acknowledging the beauty that exists in each breath, in each heartbeat. Now, as the scene in the bakery unfolds, allow yourself to step into the role of an observer. Witness the everyday miracles that occur within these four walls. Watch the baker as he kneads dough with practiced hands, his movements a graceful ballet of flour and water, salt and yeast. Notice the precision with which he measures ingredients, the care with which he places each loaf in the oven. Observe the customers who enter the shop, their faces etched with the stories of their lives. I see the joy on a child's face as he selects a freshly baked pastry, the satisfaction of an elderly woman buying her daily bread, the quiet dignity of a young worker seeking a moment's respite. Allow yourself to be captivated by the everyday drama of human interaction, the subtle gestures, the unspoken bonds, the quiet exchanges. As you observe these interactions, feel a sense of connection with the characters in this narrative. Empathize with their joys and sorrows, their hopes and dreams. Recognize the shared humanity that binds you to the baker, the customers, the villagers, and the very essence of this timeless scene. Now, as the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the village, it's time to return to the bakery. Once again, step inside and immerse yourself in the comforting ambience, scent of baking bread, the murmur of conversations, the gentle clink of dishes. Feel the warmth of the oven envelop you, chasing away any lingering chill. Let the soft glow of the lamplight paint the room in hues of amber and gold. Feel the comforting silence as the bakery prepares to close for the night. The rhythmic thump of the closing shutter, the echo of footsteps on the stone floor, the whisper of fabric as the baker wipes the counter. Bask in the tranquility, allowing the peaceful atmosphere to wash over you, bringing a sense of closure and stillness. As the final moments of our journey together approach, bring your attention back to your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest. With each inhalation, visualize the essence of the bakery enveloping you, the warmth of the oven, the aroma of fresh bread, the gentle glow of the lamplight. With each exhalation, release any remaining tension or stress, allowing it to melt away like shadows at dusk. Know that you are cradled by the loving energy of the universe, supported and held in this sacred space. As you continue to breathe deeply, let feelings of gratitude and contentment wash over you. Appreciate the beauty of the present moment, the gift of a peaceful sanctuary, the magic of a story well told. Feel a sense of fulfillment as you recognize the transformative power of imagination and the boundless love that surrounds you. When you're ready, very slowly begin to open your eyes, allowing the light to fill your vision. As you do, bring back awareness of your surroundings. Feel the support beneath you, whether it's the chair, the floor, or your bed. Take a moment to stretch gently, releasing any stiffness that may have settled in your limbs. Now, as you open your eyes fully, carry the tranquility of the bakery within you, allowing the experience to linger in your heart. May the warmth and peace you found in that haven continue to envelop you throughout your day. Thank you for joining us on this journey. I hope you found solace and renewal in the story and the guided imagery. Please remember to support our channel. Your engagement helps us create more of these experiences for everyone to enjoy. Till next time, may the magic of stories and the comfort of peace be with you always. And now, dear listener, let us step aside together and watch the old gardener. How does he greet the day? How does he meet the sun's shy smile peeking over the eastern wall? Where does he find solace or strength as the day unfurls? Let us see. The old gardener's hands, though gnarled and strong, know the ache of time. Each line, each knot is a story whispered by the earth itself. As he moves, the light of dawn paints green paths across his face. His eyes, the color of moss after rain, reflect the sky's vast canvas. He stands at the edge of the whispering garden, a place where stories sleep in the rustling leaves and dreams take root in the fertile soil. A weathered wooden door, worn smooth by countless seasons, stands as a silent sentinel at the garden's heart. Here, amidst the tapestry of blooms and rustling greens, the old gardener finds his peace. As the sun ascends higher, bathing the garden in liquid gold, the old gardener hums a tuneless melody. It is not a song known to the birds, nor one that echoes in the babbling brook, but a tune born of earth and silence understood only by the whispering leaves and the flowers that nod in time with his steps. He moves amongst his charges with a tenderness that speaks of years spent in quiet communion with nature's rhythms. He pauses beside a rose, its velvet petals unfurling shyly in the morning's blush. His calloused thumb brushes lightly across a leaf, and for a moment the world shrinks to this intimate space. The old gardener, the rose, and the dawning sun. A gentle breeze whispers through the garden, carrying with it the scent of dew-kissed petals and the murmur of bees waking from their slumber. The air is alive with the promise of life renewed, and the old gardener, attuned to nature's every nuance, breathes it in deeply, feeling its rejuvenating essence fill his lungs. He tends to his plants with movements as familiar as the changing seasons, pruning, weeding, and nurturing each with a practiced touch. His tools, extensions of his own hands, become a part of this silent conversation with the earth. The old gardener finds solace in the repetitive rhythm of his tasks. In the gentle scrape of shears on stem, in the soft thud of a hoe hitting the ground, there is a harmony that soothes the soul, a melody played on strings of earth and sky. Time, in this sanctuary of rustling leaves and blooming flowers, slows its relentless pace. The old gardener exists in the present, anchored by the roots of ancient trees and the cycle of the sun and seasons. Each passing moment is a blessing, a brushstroke of sunlight on a canvas of green. He pauses, leaning on his spade, and looks out over the garden he has tended for so many years. A sense of deep contentment washes over him. In the tapestry of his life, this garden is a cherished thread, woven with the threads of dedication, patience, and love. A lone butterfly flutters past, its wings painted with the colors of the rainbow, dancing on air currents that hum with unseen energy. Its presence a fleeting yet vibrant reminder of the ephemeral beauty that surrounds him. The old gardener smiles, his heart swelling with a quiet joy. This moment, suspended between the tranquility of the garden and the boundless expanse of the sky, becomes a sanctuary of peace. Here, amidst the symphony of colors and the hushed whispers of leaves, the old gardener finds not just a garden, but a reflection of his own soul. Mend as the hours drift by, he becomes one with the timeless rhythm of nature's embrace, rooted in the earth, reaching for the sun. Drenched in the soft silver light of approaching evening, the old gardener begins his slow journey back to the house. The garden, bathed in the hues of dusk, seems to sigh contentedly, its day's work done, its beauty displayed under the watchful gaze of the moon. He walks with a lightness in his step, the satisfaction of a day well spent settling warmly within him. The path, illuminated by fireflies blinking their silent greetings, leads him toward the comforting glow of home. As twilight deepens, painting the sky in shades of indigo and rose, the old gardener's thoughts turn inward. The day's labors complete, he seeks the solace of his hearth and home. The flickering flames of the hearth dance and crackle, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The room, filled with the scent of wood smoke and memories, envelops him in its comforting embrace. He sits in a worn armchair, its cushions molded to the shape of countless evenings spent. Outside, the night wind whispers tales of distant lands, rustling the leaves into hushed murmurs. The old gardener, enveloped by the quiet symphony of the night, listens intently. Each gust seems to carry secrets from the whispering leaves, stories of faraway places and dreams carried on the wind. The night symphony plays on, a lullaby of crickets and owls, a serenade of wind and rustling leaves. It is a music that speaks to the soul, echoing the timeless rhythm of existence. As the melody of the night intensifies, the old gardener feels a profound sense of connection. Not just to the natural world around him, but to the very essence of existence. He is a part of this grand composition, his life's story interwoven with the tapestry of the night. In the depths of this listening, the old gardener discovers a new understanding. The boundaries between himself, the garden, and the whispering night dissolve. He becomes one with the symphony, a harmonious blend of being and becoming, forever connected to the eternal cycle of day and night. And so, dear listener, as the night deepens, may you, too, find moments of stillness amidst the symphony of life. May you, too, listen to the wisdom carried on the wind and discover the profound connection that binds you to the rhythm of the earth. May the night's melody guide you to a place of deep understanding, reminding you that in the grand composition of existence, you are an integral note, playing your part in the eternal harmony. And as the night's embrace envelops, you may the whispering leaves and the twinkling stars weave their magic upon your dreams, carrying you to realms where the boundaries of reality soften and the music of the spheres resonates within your soul. Rest now, dear listener, and let the symphony of the night cradle you in its embrace. A single raindrop falls, then another and another. Soon the parched earth drinks deeply. The wind carries the scent of petrichor and distant thunder rumbles. Dark clouds gather, threatening, yet the sky holds its tears back, perhaps in remembrance of the sun's recent warmth. People hurry home, seeking shelter under their shuttered windows or awnings. The baker straightens up, his work momentarily forgotten, his gaze drifting to the pewter sky. Rain, he murmurs, savoring the word as if tasting its weight. A good, long rain. In his shop, nestled amidst the sacks of flour and the drowsy heat of the ovens, he watches the sky's drama unfold. Rain, yes, the wheat fields thirsty after days of relentless sun would welcome it. The parched ground, cracked and dusty, would drink it in. Even the sunflowers heavy with seeds would lift their faces to greet it. For rain brings life, washes away the dust, and whispers tales of faraway lands, of mists and mountains, of journeys taken by tumbling streams. As if understanding his thoughts, the wind pushes harder, carrying the first fat drops against the glass panes. He smiles faintly. Such days were rare in this land, days when the heavens opened up, pouring out their bounty. The baker leans against the counter, his eyes half closed, listening to the wind's excited whispers and the rain's insistent drumming. Each drop hitting the stone street outside seems to have a story to tell. Of waterfalls tumbling over moss-covered stones, of babbling brooks dancing through emerald valleys, of lakes mirroring skies both bright and gray. He lets the rhythm of the rain wash over him, calming the flower-dusted remnants of energy within him. Outside, the rain intensifies, now a steady sheet, drumming a wild tattoo on the bakery's roof. The wind sings a lively tune, whipping fallen leaves into miniature whirlwinds, sending pigeons flapping and cooing into the safety of the eaves. The baker's smile widens. Let it rain. Let it deluge. Let it sing its watery song. There is magic in rain. It cleanses the world, leaving behind the scent of freshness and the hushed stillness of things made new. The bakery is filled with the ghosts of laughter, the lingering echoes of customers bartering for fresh loaves or sharing news as they collected their daily bread. There are memories woven into the very walls. In the corners, beneath the sacks of flour, even in the rising steam of the ovens, there are stories whispered by the wind and carried on the rain. Now, the baker hums softly, a tuneless melody, his hands moving restlessly. Restless hands seek something to knead, to shape, to craft. And while the rain drums its wild beat outside, his hands find solace in shaping dough, coaxing it and folding it, tucking in the loose ends and smoothing the surface. Each movement is a prayer, a silent plea to the sky. Hold back your tears, O heavens, for my bread is almost done. His movements become slower, more deliberate, as he shapes each loaf with practiced ease. He remembers a time when his father's hands guided his own, teaching him the secrets of flour and water, of yeast and patience. The rain continues its wild symphony, yet within the bakery a different kind of magic unfolds, the alchemy of flour and water, of yeast and time. In the baker's hands, the dough transforms, becoming more than the sum of its parts. Each fold, each tuck, each roll imbues it with more than sustenance. It becomes a testament to the enduring spirit, a symbol of resilience in the face of life's battering rains. The aroma of baking bread drifts through the village, weaving its way through the rain-washed streets, carrying with it the promise of warmth and comfort. As the hours pass, the storm outside reaches its crescendo, unleashing its fury upon the unsuspecting land. Thunder roars, rattling the windows, and flashes of lightning illuminate the dark sky in stark grandeur. The baker, however, remains undeterred. He tends to his oven, adjusting the fire, ensuring the temperature is just right. He knows that within this fiery heart of his bakery lies more than just warmth. It holds the power to transform humble ingredients into nourishment, to turn simple flour and water into sustenance. The rain's relentless drumming seems to echo the rhythmic kneading of his hands, a shared beat between the elements and the man. In his small bakery, untouched by the tempest, the baker takes pride in his craft. Each loaf he pulls from the oven is a victory, a testament to the enduring spirit of life. As the storm rages on, the baker prepares for the inevitable lull. He sets out fresh loaves on his windowsill, their golden hues beckoning like beacons of warmth. The rain has turned the street into a ribbon of glistening black, reflecting the leaden sky. Still, the baker places his loaves out front, trusting that their fragrance will weave its way through the downpour. The baker waits patiently, watching the rain transform the world outside. He sees the trees swaying, bending under the onslaught, yet refusing to break. He sees the flowers, heads bowed, yet still reaching towards the fading light. He sees the animals seeking shelter, but also the birds, unfazed, flying freely through the downpour. In the heart of the storm, the baker finds solace. He is reminded of the resilience of nature, the tenacity of life in the face of any storm. The first customer arrives, a young girl, her hair plastered to her forehead with rain, her clothes soaked and clinging to her frame. She shivers slightly, and the baker, with a knowing smile, offers her a warm loaf, its steamy breath mingling with the scent of wet earth. The girl takes it, and as she does, a smile breaks through her earlier worry. She takes a bite, and the baker watches as her eyes light up. The bread is fresh, hot, and imbued with the essence of sun and soil, a taste of home in the midst of the storm. With each bite, she seems to grow warmer, the rain forgotten. Our customers arrive, drawn not just by the promise of fresh bread, but by the beacon of warmth and safety the bakery offers. They're farmers, their faces weathered and etched with lines of hard work. There are mothers with anxious eyes seeking nourishment for their children. There are old men leaning heavily on their canes, finding solace in the familiar space. They come in dripping, bringing with them the scent of wet wool, clay, and rain-soaked wood. Yet inside, they find not just bread, but a moment of respite. They find a shared silence that speaks of understanding, a quiet camaraderie, born of facing life's storms together. Right? And in the heart of the storm, In the small haven of a bakery lives a man who understands. He understands the language of the rain, the whispers of the wind, and the stories etched on the faces of his customers. With every loaf of bread he gives away, he gives a piece of himself, his strength, his warmth, his spirit. He is the keeper of the flame, ensuring that the light of home burns brightly, dispelling the darkness of the storm, one fresh loaf at a time. When the storm finally begins to retreat, leaving behind a world washed clean, the baker stands at his door, watching the clouds part. A sliver of sunlight peeks through, illuminating the glistening street, painting rainbows on the wet pavement. He smiles, for he knows that after every storm comes the promise of calm. The wind subsides to a gentle sigh, the rain to a soft patter. And in the distance, a ray of sunshine breaks through the retreating clouds, touching the wet earth with gold. Life begins anew. The air is sweet with the scent of wet soil and distant flowers. The baker's heart swells with a quiet joy. The storm has passed, leaving behind a world rejuvenated, ready to embrace the warmth of the returning sun. The square has grown brighter, shadows retreating as the sun climbs steadily higher. The bustle grows too, with carts rattling, doors opening, voices layering like threads in a tapestry. But here within these four walls, the melody of morning is played on silent strings. The air is thick with the aroma of yeast and dreams, a lullaby to the sleeping day. And in this hushed space, the baker stands, his silhouette framed by the fading embers. In his basket, nestled amongst the cloths, lay 3 loaves, each wrapped in linen, each holding the promise of sunrise. His work of the morning is done. He feels the familiar ache in his lower back, the soft dusting of flour on his skin, a badge of honor, not an irritation. He gathers his basket, now nearly empty, and lifts it with ease. The loaves are light, buoyed by the air they breathe, mirroring the lightness that fills his step. As he walks across the cobblestones, weaving between neighbors, nodding gently in greeting. His pace is slow, unhurried, a counterpoint to the world's quickening tempo. Though the world begins to stir, he carries with him the quiet rhythm of dawn, the soft susurrus of baking, the whisper of flour on stone. In the distance, a rooster crows, a fanfare to the day, but here the melody lingers still. The bakery awaits, its doorway cool in the shade, a respite from the sun's burgeoning warmth. As he steps inside, the warmth greets him again, not as fierce as before, for the ovens have begun to fade, but still glowing, still alive, holding the memory of heat like embers in a dying fire. He sets the basket aside, wipes his hands upon his apron, a simple white cloth, stained with the hues of countless dawns, and allows himself a long, steady breath. The air within these 4 walls is thick with the aroma of what has been and what is to come, comforting constancy in a world of change. He moves with a grace born of habit, his body memorizing the space the way a riverbed memorizes the flow of water. Here in the quiet of his own bakery, the world recedes, leaving him in communion with the ghosts of meals past and the promise of those yet to be. On a wooden shelf nearby rests a row of carved stamps, some simple, some intricate, each one designed to press a mark into the dough. Each one a story waiting to be told. His father made them years ago. Each family in the village had once chosen a symbol, and the baker remembers how carefully those symbols were honored. A curling fern, a rising star, a winding river, a crescent moon. Each stamp held meaning, a story whispered through flour and crust. The baker lifts one now, its wood smooth from years of use. It bears a small sunburst, a circle with rays stretching outward. He turns it gently in his hand, his thumb tracing the grooves. This was his family's mark, passed down, always pressed into their own bread. Not merely a symbol, but a legacy. It speaks to him of heritage, of tradition, of a lineage of bakers whose footsteps he follows. It is a tangible link to the past, a silent conversation across the years, a story whispered in wood and flour. He places the stamp back upon the shelf, his gaze lingering on each one, seeing not just shapes, but echoes of lives lived, families gathered, of moments shared. He feels a kinship with those who came before, those who chose these symbols, with those who kneaded dough and told stories in the rising crust. And in that moment, he knows he is part of something larger, a a continuity of life, a testament to the enduring power of simple things. The baker turns away from the stamps, his eyes drifting to the worn ledger resting upon a nearby table. Its pages are filled with numbers, recipes, calculations, each entry a chapter in the bakery's life. He traces the lines with his fingertip, feeling the texture of countless days gone by. In these entries, he sees not just figures but faces, hears not just numbers but laughter, the clink of coins, the murmur of orders. The bakery comes alive through these pages, each entry a brushstroke painting a portrait of time. He remembers his father sitting here, the firelight dancing in his eyes, the air thick with bread and wisdom. Lessons were learned at this table, not just about flour and yeast, but about life, about patience, about the quiet dignity of honest work. The bakery was more than a business. It was a philosophy, a way of life. The sun climbs higher now, bathing the interior in its golden glow, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. Each mote, a tiny universe, a miniature world of its own. And in this sun-filled haven, the baker finds solace, sanctuary where the relentless march of time seems to pause, where the world's clamor fades to a distant hum, where the only urgency is the gentle rise of dough, the only pressure the patient hand of a master craftsman. He runs a hand along the cool stones of the hearth, feeling the echoes of countless fires, the silent stories of the ovens, the warmth that has nurtured both bread and community for countless years. He closes his eyes, breathing deeply, and for a moment, he is not just a baker but a vessel, a conduit through which the stories of his ancestors flow. He is a keeper of traditions, a guardian of flavors, a storyteller who speaks a language older than words. Outside, the world awakens fully. The square is alive with activity. Peddlers set up their wares, children race with laughter, the scent of wood smoke mingles with blooming flowers. But here within these ancient walls, time slows. The air is thick with the aroma of yeast and dreams, a lullaby to the waking day. The baker opens his eyes, turning to face the ovens, their embers glowing like memories in the fading light. With gentle steps, he begins his preparations for the day, each movement precise, each action imbued with a quiet confidence born of years of practice. He knows the feel of dough in his hands, the rhythm of kneading, the subtle cues of rising, the patient weight of proofing. He knows the language of flour and water, yeast and salt, of heat and time. He is a conductor orchestrating a symphony of flavors, a maestro of the mundane, coaxing magic from the simplest of ingredients. He works in silence, a silence not empty, but pregnant with meaning. A silence that echoes with the stories of generations past, a silence that sings the song of sunrise. His loaves take shape, round and firm, ready to be adorned with the marks of his lineage. With flour-dusted hands, he reaches for the stamp bearing the sunburst, a circle with rays stretching outward. As he presses it into the dough, he feels a connection to his ancestors, to the bakers who came before him, to the hands that shaped these very stamps. In this simple act, there is continuity, a link to the past, a whisper of heritage. He works methodically, stamping each loaf, imbuing each one with the symbol of his family, creating a visual testament to his lineage, a silent conversation across the years. As he works, he thinks of the village, of the families who will gather around their tables, sharing bread and stories, of the children who will trace the sunburst with their tiny fingers, wondering at the tales it holds. He is feeding not just bodies but souls, nourishing not just the hungry, but the hearts of his community. The baker finishes his task, his loaves marked and ready for the oven. He stands back, surveying his work, a sense of quiet satisfaction settling upon him. He has tended the dough, honored his heritage, and prepared for the day ahead. He is a baker, a storyteller, a keeper of traditions, and as the sun climbs higher, he steps out into the waiting world, carrying with him the warmth of the oven and the stories embedded in each loaf. Here's an idea for a story I once had about a baker who knew everyone in his village. It's not just by sight, but by the lines on their hands and the stories etched onto their forearms. Because as they came to him for bread, they'd tell him bits of their tales, and he'd mark them onto the loaves, becoming a record of their lives. Which meant that after a while, the baker ended up knowing every person in his town better than they probably knew themselves. I don't remember what inspired that story, but I think I want to hold on to it for a bit, see where it might lead, how it might evolve. So instead today, I want us to think about it together, to imagine the kinds of marks we leave on the world, the ways we unknowingly shape the lives around us, and in turn, the traces they leave on our hearts. Let's begin simply with the baker, breathing deeply, his eyes still closed. And in that gentle darkness, he begins to imagine the faces of his neighbors. There is the old shepherd, whose back is bent with years of labor, but whose eyes still glimmer when he speaks of his flock. Each morning, the shepherd collects a round loaf, tucking it carefully into his satchel before walking into the fields. The baker pictures him now, sitting upon a grassy hill, the sheep grazing nearby, as he tears a piece of bread and eats it slowly, with the patience of one who has always lived by the rhythm of the earth. Then there is the young mother, her arms often full with her swaddled child. She comes to the bakery quietly, her footsteps quick but soft, her smile shy, her gratitude warm. The baker imagines her at home, rocking her little one beside the hearth, breaking pieces of the loaf to share with her older children, their laughter filling the wooden cottage walls. The bread is not only food but comfort, a small gift to help her through the long day. The miller too appears in his thoughts, broad-shouldered, his clothes always dusted with flour. The miller's work begins before even the baker's, as his wheel turns with the flowing river. Without him, there would be no flour, no dough, no bread. And so, when the miller takes his loaf, warm from the oven, it feels almost as though the circle has closed, grain to flour, flour to bread, bread back to the hands that began the cycle. The baker's thoughts drift further, toward the blacksmith, his forge always glowing. Ow! His hammer ringing out into the air. When he accepts his bread, he does so with hands roughened by iron and flame. And yet, when he eats slowly, as though each bite reminds him that even in fire, there must be rest. The baker sees them all in his mind's eye. The merchant, with quick speech, always telling tales of distant markets. The children rushing up with coins clasped tightly, eager to claim a small roll all their own. The village priest, who bows gently, accepting his loaf as though it were a blessing. Every face, every hand, every life woven together through bread. He lets out a quiet sigh, feeling how deeply their lives are entwined with his. It humbles him, but it soothes him too. For though his work is simple, it is not small. Each loaf he bakes carries within it a touch of care, a kind of prayer kneaded into the dough, even if unspoken. Perhaps you can feel that now, the way small gestures become larger than themselves, the way a simple act, done with love, reaches further than the hand that gave it. As the baker dreams of his villagers, he invites you, too, to imagine the people in your own world, those whose lives touch yours, perhaps quietly, without notice, but whose daily moments are shaped by you in return. Imagine the barista who remembers your regular order, who pours your coffee with practiced ease, who greets you by name. Picture the librarian with her hushed steps and gentle eyes, who guides you to stories waiting to be discovered. Envision the mail carrier whose bag is heavy with secrets and smiles, delivering whispers of loved ones far away. See the bus driver with weathered hands gripping the wheel, navigating routes of life, ensuring you reach your destination. Observe the tailor, mending not just clothes, but the fragments of confidence, stitching together a new sense of self. Consider the bookstore owner with shelves of wisdom lining their walls, sharing not just books, but the magic they hold. Recognize the teacher whose canvas is vast, painting dreams on the minds of young explorers, nurturing curiosity and growth. Notice the mentor who lends a hand, guiding you through life's intricate patterns, deciphering the language of success. Recall the friend who listens without judgment, offering solace in the tapestry of life. Each interaction a thread, weaving a tapestry of human connection. These individuals, seemingly ordinary, become extraordinary through the impact they have on your life, their presence, a silent melody that resonates within you. And as you think of them, let your breath slow, let your shoulders rest. Feel how connection itself is a kind of comfort. The bakery remains still, its warmth steady, its air thick with the scent of crust. And in that hush, the baker allows himself to rest. He tilts his head back slightly, his body relaxing into the stool. His breaths lengthen, each one carrying away a little more of the morning's effort. Through the window, the voices of the square drift in, but they no longer press upon him. They are softened, distant, like waves upon a far-off shore. He knows the village continues, the lives unfold, the day carries forward. And yet here within the bakery's wooden walls, he has found a pocket of peace. The baker thinks again of the marks upon the loaves, each symbol a sign, a memory. Loaf a reminder that even in a busy, ever-turning world, there are things that endure. Family, tradition, nourishment, kindness. He smiles softly, almost to himself. And perhaps as you listen, you too can carry this quiet truth, that no act of care is wasted, no kindness too small. Like a loaf of bread, freshly baked and shared, it travels beyond you, warming others, feeding souls.
Ow.
Maybe this moment of peace lasts only a little while longer. Maybe the bell above the door chimes again, and a new customer enters, or the baker. Rounds must be restocked, or a fresh batch of dough demands attention. But for a few stolen minutes, he is allowed to just be. And if you choose, you may stay with him, basking in the warmth of the bakery, letting the scent of yeast and flour soothe your own troubled heart, or allow yourself to drift into the bustling market square, feeling the energy of the villagers' pulse around you. Breathe in the vibrant colors, the earthy textures, the lively sounds. If you wish, you could spend your afternoon here, watching children chase pigeons, overhearing snippets of gossip exchanged between friends, witnessing the quiet dignity of the elderly, observing the curious glances between two young lovers. As the sun climbs higher, you might stroll to the edge of town, passing fields where farmers tend to their crops, noticing the sweat on their brows, the dirt under their fingernails, the calluses on their palms. You might stop by a babbling brook, listening to the melody of flowing water, the symphony of birds, the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. Or you could find solace in the shade of a sprawling oak tree, allowing its branches to shield you from the sun, letting the roots weave tales of ages past into the very earth you rest upon. And if the day grows longer still, you might visit the rambling river, feeling its currents mirroring the ebb and flow of life. Watch as ducks glide across its surface, their paddling a peaceful rhythm. Or you might prefer to sit by the gurgling fountain in the center of the village, letting the playful spray cool your skin, the sound a soothing lullaby. In this timeless realm, where the sun dips low and shadows stretch long, you can linger as long as you desire. No need to rush, no task to complete. Simply exist in the tranquility of this imaginary world, where the rhythm of life slows to a gentle pace. The day ends with a brilliant sunset, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. As twilight descends, you might find yourself drawn back to the bakery, where the baker now kneads dough for tomorrow's bread, his rhythmic movements a soothing cadence. The air is thick with the aroma of yeast and the promise of fresh loaves. Perhaps you'll linger by the window watching him work, or maybe you'll push open the door and step inside, enveloping you in its comforting embrace. This imaginary village, with its cobblestone streets and friendly faces, remains nestled in your heart. Though you must bid it farewell for now, you carry the warmth of its hearth and the echoes of its laughter within you. The experience lingers, a cherished interlude in the tapestry of your day, reminding you of the beauty of simplicity and the power of shared human moments.